Is dogged pursuance a guarantee of a meal at the end of the day?
Not necessarily, but what's the alternative?
The alternative could be to doggedly pursue mainstream media and traditional journalism as we know it, and perhaps avoid. The reason I ask you this is, Nalaka, is simple. It is that if I am to tell an aspiring young person that they have a future in web journalism, I still can't convince myself to say it in Sri Lanka. Despite the blossoming of blogs, despite the wonderful writing, really insightful, incisive writing that you now find in some blogs, which are more than a match for some of the commentary and analysis in mainstream media, you still find it hard to convince yourself first and then another of the financial potential of new media and a career in web journalism.
Yeah, I mean, I think the business models have yet to come. Even in the West, where the new media activists have been at it a little bit longer than we have been. Very few have actually found ways of making money or even breaking even. So the business models, the revenue streams, those are still being...
Where do you see that going? Are we heading into a world where everything will be free and do you pay as you see fit?
Yes, I mean, some of the mainstream newspapers whose web editions were earlier by subscription only, New York Times,
exactly, yeah.
Los Angeles Times, and they have stopped charging for subscription and they've made it free access. And so that seems to be the way the business models are headed, and instead find the revenue through advertisers who come with the eyeballs. So the more readers, more hits, more advertising potential. And this is the model that Google has in fact spearheaded for all their online strategies. And that seems to be the way to go. So not proprietary information, not guarding it, but letting it go, bringing in the eyeballs, the readers, the visitors, and then showing, hey, we got numbers, and come and display whatever you're wear.
And you recently blogged about Al Jazeera's bold venture into opening up the entire library for mashups.
Absolutely. I mean, this is going to be interesting.
And you might want, I mean, would you like to tell us what you think
because
about?
Traditionally in the broadcast industry, in television newscasting in particular, footage has been the main core resource of broadcasters, and rare footage, whether it is the tsunami or whether it is Iraq or Afghanistan, trade for hundreds of dollars per second, and this has been going on for decades, and everybody was fine, you know, they gripe and then pay up and use that. But here comes Al Jazeera, the new kid on the block, who starts releasing all its footage initially gathered in the Gaza Strip in the current ongoing conflict, and says, we are putting it up online, broadcast quality, no rights attached,
Free for all.
Free. Feel free for not just online use, but even for broadcast use by
personal,
anyone
commercial,
else.
absolutely.
Just give us acknowledgement. They have the very liberal license called the Creative Commons 3.0 license, and says, just credit us, use it.
Is this open sourcing of knowledge something that can work beyond Al Jazeera, beyond broadcast models? Could it infuse the Sri Lankan scientific community and the development community with that energy that they need to kickstart it, do you feel, as we move forward? I
think the younger members of the media community and the scientific community, I think would welcome this and hopefully embrace it. That proprietary nature over ideas and information and research data has been very much there, not just in our media but also in our scientific community. And I've seen this, you know, as a journalist in search of a story, I have come upon scientists, very senior ones, who are very guarded about giving out their research findings, even when most of the research is publicly funded in the first place. But this is changing. This is changing also because the refereed journals and the whole process of validating science itself has got transformed by the web and the open source and open free flow of knowledge models that are now being explored. But nobody has got a perfect model or perfect solution. Things are in experimental stage. Everybody is in beta, trying out. I mean, as the editor of Gizmo, one of the websites, has said, I don't know what works, but I sure like to try. And I think that should be the attitude, that should be the motto. We don't know what works, but unless we try, you'd never know.
But briefly, Nalaka, at what cost? And the reason I ask this is, for example, with e-government initiatives in Sri Lanka, for example, do we try ad nauseum till we find a model that works? Because I have yet to be convinced that the models that exist out there in Sri Lanka and elsewhere are deliver the much wanted promise of e-gov.
Well, I don't know whether there is really any e-government, e-gov in this country.
Yeah.
Going by the world accepted definition, I don't know of any citizen service where the transaction from beginning to end can happen online or digitally.
What could make it work? I want to end on a suitably optimistic note. What could shift that? I
think if we open everybody's minds, both in government as well as among the citizens, the ones who try to engage government, that information is like a disinfectant. When it stagnates, it will breed corruption and all the other ills. Allow it to free and it will disinfect. Flowing water don't breed mosquitoes. Flowing water doesn't carry and distribute illnesses. We need to, I think, allow information, not just raw information and data, but ideas, even the unpalatable ones. If we allow them to move and flow freely back and forth, then it will have an enormous cleansing effect. That is the vision that I would like to see happen, certainly in my lifetime and yours. I hope so too, Nalaka, particularly in the context that we are living in, where that free flow of ideas and information really is stifled by a number of causes, actors and processes, most unfortunately. But I do hope that what you say comes about sooner rather than later. Nalaka, thank you very much for joining us and leaving us all with such enriching thoughts. Thank you.